Hey everybody, welcome back to Texas Longhouse Mead. It's been a while. My name is Carlos. Today we're going to be making a traditional, but this traditional is a little special because we're going to be using Guajillo honey, which comes from South Texas, northern Mexico. And once it's fermented, it tastes similar to butterscotch with hints of caramel in it. And it's actually tastes really good and probably one of my favorite traditionals. So I have 11 pounds of Guajillo honey here from Sweet NES Honey, Sweet NES Honey. And then I put a pound off for after fermentation, and we're gonna use that to back sweeten it just to add the sweetness to the butterscotch caramel flavor. So we're using K1V 1116 yeast. I have 3 gallons of honey or 3 gallons of water in here right now. And basically we're going to be shooting for a gravity of about 1092, 1.092. So that comes out to about 12% ABV. So go ahead and get started. Everything's already been sanitized. Like always, make sure you always sanitize everything before you use it. I have my paint mixer, which I use to mix up everything. It has been sanitized. All of my turkey baster, hydrometer, cylinder, everything's been sanitized. All right. So, including the countertops. So, we're just gonna take our honey. Just go ahead, dump it on in. The thing with Guajillo honey too is it doesn't blossom all the time, or not all the time, but it's not like a year-round blossom like many varieties, but it has a very narrow window for when bees can actually collect the pollen from it and store it in the hives. There we go. So they have a very narrow window as to when they can collect enough honey for sale or whatever. So a lot of times you'll see it like if there's a significant drought to where like it doesn't do very well, it doesn't blossom very well, the honey yield will actually be very low for that year. So we'll see. Oh, made a mess. All right, that should be good enough for right now. I'm gonna take our quick gravity real quick. Ooh, I am good. We are at 1.09294, which is actually really close to where I wanted it. Like I said, I wanted it at 12%, and this is pretty much spot on. So for everyone who's new to making mead, one thing you always want to do is you want to plan your meads. And so with this one, I knew I wanted a 12% mead. So on average, honey is about 35 points per pound per gallon of water. So I have 11 pounds here, 35, so that's 350, 360, something like that. My math's off now. Anyways, I did the math earlier, And so basically what it comes out to is I knew I wanted a 12% mead. So I divided it into 4 because there's gonna be a total of 4 gallons, 3 gallons of water and almost a gallon of honey. So with that, I knew that would come out to about 1096, which is a little bit more than 12%. It's almost 13%. Well, actually it is 13%, but you know, of course not all the honey made it in there. So, the honey's still some in the jar and counts for some of the extra water that may or may not have been in there. But I knew I wanted a 12%, and I knew in order to get that, I had to get to 1092-ish, 1094. So it actually really worked out because that's where we're gonna end up. So anyways, here, like I said, we're using Lalvin K1V 1116. It goes up to 18%, but of course this one's gonna be 12 because that's all the sugar we put in there. We'll stabilize it and then back sweeten it after. But I like K1V for this because 71B I prefer for my fruit meads, my melomels and stuff like that. K1V is really good for like a good dry mead, but it helps add some floral character, some of the fruitiness to it a little bit. So I like that for this. And then of course, like I said, we're gonna end up back sweetening once it's all said and done. So the way it plays out, it comes out really good and tastes like butterscotch with hints of caramel. So I have 7.5 grams of Go-Ferm in here at 140 degrees. Once that cools down to at least 98 degrees, and I put in the yeast, let that sit for 30 minutes, which it has been. Before I started swirling it, it had a nice little foam layer on top. So I know it's ready to go. And it's usually about 30 minutes. So we'll go ahead and take this and then just pour it on in. You want to swirl it around, make sure you get everything. Get my turkey baster here real quick. Make sure get everything. And then of course I also follow the TOSNA protocol. So once this starts going, hopefully tomorrow evening, see good bubbling. It's actually K1V is actually a fast fermenter, so probably in the morning when I get up, it should start having bubbles in the airlock. So we'll do that, and then I'll add my fermento in 4 increments. And I want to, if I remember correctly, it should be, what was it, 2.5 grams a day. I'll have to double check that, but I'll put it in the notes for the episode. But yeah, like I said, this will go to 12%. It should be about 10 to 14 days. 4 additions of fermento at 2.5 grams. Again, I'll double check that for you guys. And then, yeah, we'll degas it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, and that helps to get off the CO2, make sure there's no off flavors that develop or anything like that, because that's the best way that I found that you get a good, consistent butterscotch caramel flavor. So, yeah, I'll leave it to you guys. Short, quick, simple, but here in a couple weeks, I'll make another video once this is done and give you some samplings. Y'all have a good one.